Hey, it's Dr. Nuesse, and in this video, I want to talk specifically to my fellow parents out there. So I get a lot of questions here on YouTube and in my offices from parents that are concerned with their child gaining weight, or what should they do if their child is gaining weight. So I want to take a few minutes here to kind of address this situation, give you some strategies, and I'm going to be using not only my experience, again, helping thousands of individuals lose weight in a natural way and then be able to keep it off permanently, but also my experience raising a child as well, and how difficult that may be, especially at meal times. So if you want to learn more about what we do, it's very simple. You can download the brand new, that's NUE app from Apple or Android. Download it, log in, take our quick 3-minute survey. It will give you an answer right away. It will screen you basically to let you know if one of our programs might be right for you. So in my opinion, if you are a parent and your child is gaining weight or is overweight, there are really 3 aspects that you need to fully understand in order to be able to make a difference or make a change. Number 1 is you need to have the willingness to make a change. Number 2 is you have to have the understanding and the knowledge to make the change. And number 3 is obviously you have to be able to implement a plan. So let's go through each component individually, because they are each very important to the overall success if your goal is to stop your child from gaining weight or help them lose weight if they are overweight. And the first is the willingness to make changes. So it's not just good enough to recognize that there is an issue, to recognize that your child is overweight or is gaining weight, and you as the parent feel that that is not right and you want to put a stop to that. Just recognizing the problem is not enough. You have to have willingness to make changes, because changes are going to be necessary. They might not be comfortable changes. Changes are going to need to be made for the child and probably for the parent as well. So the willingness to make changes is essential for the overall process to be successful. And number 2 on the list, equally as important, is you as the parent need to be informed. You need information. You can't make decisions, you can't make a plan without being informed first. And it starts with the health of the child. So maybe you look to your pediatrician and you find out where their weight is in relation to their height, to their gender, to their age, and you find out, are they actually overweight, or is their weight in a safe and normal range, or are they actually underweight? You don't want to be making plans or taking action unless you can fully understand where the health is of that child and if changes are actually even necessary. And the second thing you need to be informed on is the nutrition of the food that that child is eating. And this can be a minefield. There's a lot of good marketing out there that kind of leads people to think that certain items are healthier than others. Let me give you a couple examples here. I'm just going to look down at my computer. So some of the typical, quote, healthy fast food chains, think of things like Subway or Chick-fil-A, and then we compare them with some unhealthy fast food chains, something like McDonald's. So I did this, I picked a couple menu items. So here is the calories for the 6-inch tuna sandwich from Subway, and it is 430 calories. And we can compare that with a McDonald's double cheeseburger, something you would think is disgustingly unhealthy. That is 437 calories. So you think of tuna, you hear tuna, you think that must be healthy. From a calorie standpoint, the 6-inch tuna sandwich is almost the same as a McDonald's double cheeseburger. And now we go to Chick-fil-A, again, something that I hear from a lot of clients that they think is a healthier option. Their basic chicken sandwich is 420 calories. Again, only 17 calories less than a McDonald's double cheeseburger. And the research on fast food over the past couple decades is that every decade, basically, the calorie count and the portions of fast food meals goes up. So researchers found that on average, the calorie content of entrees in certain fast food restaurants went up by 30 calories per decade. So every 10 years, it went up 30 calories. And the calorie content of the desserts from these same fast food restaurants went up by 62 calories per decade. And the researchers looked at places like Hardee's, Jack in the Box, KFC, McDonald's, Long John Silver's, Wendy's, the usual suspects here. And further research shows that cooking at home better complies with U.S. dietary guidelines, and it costs nothing extra. So if you prepare your meal at home, you're more likely to fit within what the U.S. dietary guidelines are as opposed to dining out, and it doesn't cost anything extra. What it costs, unfortunately, is convenience. What people are looking for in their busy lives is to make mealtime more convenient, and unfortunately in these situations it can come back to bite you. But fortunately, further research has shown that Americans are dining out less. So dining out peaked in about the year 2000, and since the year 2000 it has been steadily on a decline where people eat more and more of their meals at home. Okay, so once you have the willingness and you understand that a change needs to be made, what changes should actually be made to help make a difference in that child's life? So, and again, I'm using experience being a parent, raising a child, and again, professionally helping thousands of clients. But in my opinion, when it comes to changing a child's behavior, it is all going to come down to modeling that behavior. And what I mean by this, and again, this might not be the most comfortable change, is that the parent needs to change first. Children don't respond as well to being dictated to. You should do this or you shouldn't do that. They respond to, or what they want to do is they want to emulate what the parent does. So changing the behavior for the parent, I think, is essential for changing the behavior of the child. But again, I don't just have to speculate. I do have further research on this as well. And the research shows that a child with one obese parent has a 50% chance of becoming obese themselves. When both parents are present and are obese, the children then have an 80% chance of becoming obese. So the bottom line is, if you want your child to stop gaining weight or to lose weight or just become a healthier weight, the decisions that you make, the example that you set is going to be paramount. Children respond much better to being led by example than they do being dictated to. Now, I'm certainly not suggesting that these changes are easy. They won't be. Any change is going to be somewhat difficult or uncomfortable, but this is the reality of the situation. If you want your child's behavior to change, changing your behavior is the best way to go about implementing that. So I'll just give you a couple quick things that aren't too difficult to implement that we use with a majority of our clients. And number one, a big one, is replacing soda or pop with water. This will save a ton of calories. You don't want to be drinking a bunch of sugar. So just replacing soda with water will be a huge one. Another big thing that you can do, and we talked about this a little earlier, we discussed it a little earlier, is dining in more often. Let's say you go out 2-3 times a week. Knock that down to 1 time a week. And along with that is you should be thinking about your meals a few days in advance. So meal prepping and understanding what you're going to be eating at least a day in advance. That can keep you from scrambling and trying to figure out what you're going to have, which could lead you into, unfortunately, poorer choices. And obviously there are plenty of other changes that can be made. Each individual situation is going to be different. I hope this was helpful and informative. And until next time, everybody, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll catch everyone in the next video.